Good evening, everybody, and welcome to iRacing Live and live on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. It's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship presented by Engine Oil Direct, round 67 to 69 from the Road America circuit in the United States. My name is Andrew Woodhouse and I'm joined by Adam Bath and iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. Alex, I'll bring you in first. Road America is one of your favourite tracks, I know this, and we've got over 45 Kia Optimas here ready to do battle.
Oh, I love this place. It's such a great track. Overtaking zones all over the place. Good little midfield complex section that can really transform the way you set the car up. This is going to be a great race. We missed this broadcast earlier on in the season, so it's glad that we had a little second bite at the cherry tonight. This is going to be great to watch, I'm sure.
Adam Bath, welcome, mate. The last time we had over 45 cars was the Spa-Francorchamps, and it was a fantastic meeting of racing. What are you expecting from tonight?
I think I'm expecting the same quality of racing. Back when we were racing here at the start of the season, Wojciech Savidovic, Jamie Rushworth and Andreas Katz all took race victories. However, Andreas Katz, I don't think is here this race meeting, so I don't think we'll be seeing him taking a race victory. Oh, he is here.
Yes, he snuck in there.
Currently sitting at ninth, so there is a possibility of him taking a race victory. But yeah, great to be back at this racetrack. Some very challenging corners for these Kia Optimas, and there's going to be some great racing in store. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship then, heading into this first race of the evening. Wojciech Savidovic, 546 points, ahead of David Baker in second. Stelian Chepelevsky in third. Andreas Katz in fourth, with Alex Smolensky in fifth. Jamie Rushworth has now gone up to sixth position in the standings, with Simon Field seventh, Lee Thompson eighth, Sebastian Job in ninth, and Kip Stevens in 10th. And then looking quickly at the Teams Championship, Engine Oil Direct, 508 point lead over GT Omega. Stem Sim Racing is in third. New Homes Digital in fourth. Pete Newman Media in 5th, Apex Racing TV in 6th, Leo Bodner 7th, Laser Tools 8th, Carnage Knife and OGR in 10th. A quick note, I think New Homes Digital is the new... Oh, I don't know what that team is. I was about to say...
The new title sponsor for PowerMax.
PowerMax, yeah.
Yeah, so New Homes
Digital, so...
Yeah, so that is the team in 4th. Qualifying's over.
And that's more things to confuse us with, Alex, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll get that all sorts of wrong on this broadcast, the first one, but hopefully give it a couple of race meetings and we'll be up to speed. Let's have a quick see if we can find one of the cars actually, just to see if it's changed. Jamie, if I can find him, we might have a little look, and we go on board, which doesn't help us at all, does it? At all.
I think they must be waiting on the new liveries. We've just got a slight... I think they're the same as what they were.
Yeah, just with the new homes on the side there, you can just make it out. We're a little bit far away from that camera angle from Jamie Fluke, but yeah, we saw that a few race meetings back. Actually, they got involved with it, so it's great to see New Homes sponsoring the series and the PowerMax car there.
Yeah, great to see new sponsors coming in, Adam, as the season goes on.
Yeah, it shows you the growing popularity of this series, and great to have such real life sponsors on board, such as GT Omega, Leo Bodner, and now New Homes Digital. Qualifying is now over, and Dan Hunt is at the top of the qualifying standings, with Ray Alfala in second position. I think that's the highest he's ever been, really, in the series. Third is Stelian Chepelevsky, with Sebastian Job in fourth. Jamie Fluke is in fifth. Andreas Katz sixth. Alex Smolensky seventh. Wojciech Savidovic right down there in eighth. Lee Thompson in ninth and Rob Fagg in 10th. David Baker 11th. Colin Cunniff 12th. Daniel Kraft 13th. Jamie Rushworth in 14th place. And our good qualifying for the Season 4 champion. Ben Palmer in 15th. Pete Newman 16th. Jerome Kaiser 17th. Simon Field 18th. Richard Gore 19th. And then Dustin Hickman in 20th. We've got a new team also racing here tonight, Andrew, and they're quite down the order as well, with Jukka Pekalami in 21st position, and yeah, other drivers down there as well.
Yeah, Grip TV have joined us, and it's good to see some new drivers in there. Jukka Pekalami, very accomplished. Also, you've got Braden Cohen and JJ Tubbs, so good to see those guys here adding some strength to this field, and well, they're going to find it difficult in the midfield, it has to be said. Alex, it's not the place you necessarily want to be for your first meeting.
No, this will be a bit of a culture shock. Mind you, the guys do a lot of GT3 racing, often streaming their races on Twitch. I'm sure everybody has seen them do the odd race here and there, and yeah, they'll be fully aware of mid-pack craziness that can happen. Those GT3s, very, very similar kind of chaos that can issue in the first few laps.
Yep. Of course, and Road America, of course, can be quite difficult, the first couple of corners. Adam, down at turn 3, it's going to be one of the more tricky parts, I think, of the race meeting tonight, is the breaking into that tight left-hand corner.
Yeah, I expect to see a few cars going through that gravel trap. That'll probably be one of the key overtaking spots on the circuit. Back when we were here in Season 5, there was a big crash for the race lead going into Turn 1, with everyone fighting over to get that racing line. And of course, a new variable for this race meeting is we've got a dynamic track, and this is initiative used by the organisers to try and spice up the racing. From what I can tell, the marbles are going to be carried over the race meeting, so the track will get more and more rubbered up as the night progresses, and that could add another variable to the racing.
It's already transformed it a little bit. When we first jumped in, obviously off air, we saw the track pretty much green. There was no rubber laid down at all, and you can see in some of the heavy braking zones now and through like the carousel, there's definitely sign of a line starting to show. I mean, when you've got 50 Kias going around this track, it's not going to take long for that rubber to start settling in. So yeah, I think this race we'll see the line really come noticeable, and then the second and third races, we might even see some marbles to the outside of the track as well. Dynamic temperature and weather conditions as well. So unlike previous events where we were taken off of the weather forecasts, now we really could have just absolutely mixed weather, so no one knows what to expect for this one at all.
It is going to mean as well that in the third race, so corners like the carousel could be quite tricky, Alex, with you don't want to stray offline.
Yeah, I think what we've noticed at the moment is still quite a lot of time that the drivers are going to drop off when the track heats up a little bit. That seems to be the deciding factor at the moment. So as that line starts to rubber in, it also gets a little bit hot as well. So drivers might start pushing and getting a little bit of understeer as well. So as others have said on other interviews, the dynamic surface not just quite there yet. Once they get it sorted, it's going to be absolutely excellent. But yeah, those drivers expecting a little bit more grip as the track rubbers in are going to come to a nasty shock. I think the car's actually going to gradually get worse as this race goes on. So it'll be good to see who can adapt the best out there.
I tell you, someone who has adapted very well, Adam, Ray Alfalla. I mean, it's a wonderful second place. It really is. And what can he do in the race?
Who knows? 12th in practice, so it wasn't on the cards, this second place on the grid. Who knows? Maybe a change of conditions seems to have favoured him in his Kia Optima, and that's what could be the factor that could allow him to possibly get a shot at winning this race. He is on the racing line for the start, which is interesting, because usually you would expect the pole position car, which is Dan Hunt, to be on the racing line, but Hunt is on the inside for turn 1. Alfalla on the outside, so it'll be interesting to see if he could get a good run, and that could allow Sebastian Job right behind Alfalla in fourth position to try and get a good start as well.
Alex, is there anyone who you think is going to spring a surprise here in this first race of the day?
Looking at the qualifying position, that everyone looks very, very close. Lots of slipstream here. It really could come down to who times the overtakes the best, so I wouldn't like to put money on who's going to win this first race tonight.
Alright, so about 30 seconds left to the start. I do have to mention one of our teammates as well, Martin van Luzenoord, who's a pro driver, is in the field, 32nd place. Alex is going to be looking for a good finish, I think.
Yep, absolutely. I wish Martin all the best running as a privateer today.
The Road America, then, it's one of the hardest tracks in the United States. One of the best tracks in the world of iRacing. You'll see the red's right here. The green light is on the Road America. The BSR Touring Car Pro Series is a wonderful start by Alfalla. And Dan Hunt's getting swamped here. He might lose the lead already, and he has lost the lead to the two-time world champion. Alfalla on the outside. He's going to have the best line into turn 1 as well, under braking.
And Sebastian Job swoops around the outside of Daniel Hunt as well. So
some contact, I can hear it.
Hunt losing 2 positions already, and we could see teammates trying to work it out there. Stelin Chepelevsky was giving Daniel Hunt a shove down to the first corner. Obviously,
Jay Wright's off, Jake Blackall's off at first corner.
Yeah, an Apex and a Leo Bodman car there, so we're lucky actually. We know how bad it can be here at Road America, as we're on board with Sebastian Job. He's lining up Mr. 2 times himself. He's going to have to go around the outside of the hairpin. And
every left the brakes is Job.
I thought Ray perhaps braked a little bit early, but he didn't at all. It's just Sebastian extremely late. Everybody else just trying to get through that sort of hairpinish style corner there, and it looks pretty good through there. Great start really from everybody. Such a narrow track in the when you've got 50 cars trying to work their way through.
Whoa,
side
we
by
could be going
side.
3 wide here.
Alfala and Job, and Hunt's on the outside, so he needs to be. Oh, Hunt's going to try and go around the outside of both of them, and he's missed his braking point slightly, and Job manages to retain second place. Hunt needs to be careful he doesn't let his teammate through.
Well, brave there by Daniel Hunt. Sebastian Job still is not giving Ray Alfala any sympathy as they head through this 180-degree carousel. Right-hander, long right-hander, and down towards the kink, the fastest part of the racetrack. Sebastian Job right on the back of Ray Alfala as they head through this kink right now.
Good commitment from Alfala through the kink, but it's Canada corner next up, Alex. It's tough here, isn't it, on the braking?
Yeah, Ray's gone defensive very early. Looks like Seb's got a run. He's already got his nose ahead. Round the outside he goes. That is a great move. Will he be able to hold it? Ray's trying to fight back. Dan Hunt's lurking, and there's a little battle going off with Chepelevsky and Katz just a little bit further back there, side by side, with Svidovic just tucked up right behind them.
Alfala slotting it. Oh no, Alfala's taking the lead back from Joe. He got a cut back out of that little left-hander onto the main straight, but again now he's in trouble because he's got the whole gaggle of Kia Optimus behind him, and it's Job, and then Hunt, and then it's Katz and Svidovic, and also Chepelevsky's in there, and he's fanning out now side by side with Katz, but it's Job. Is he going to take the lead into turn 1 this time? Alfala not giving an inch here.
Oh, here comes Daniel Hunt down the inside. Ray Alfala covers the inside line to stop the GT Omega car getting past. Joe still on the outside as we head into turn 2. Ray Alfala has the advantage now. He is in front of the Apex Racing TV car, but for how long?
What a wonderful, intense start to this race, Alex.
Yeah, just a little bit further back as well. There was something going off between Chepelevsky and Svidovic. They got into each other. They're side by side, still down the straight, as are Job and Alfala as well.
Job trying to get that braking down. Alfala brakes a little later this time.
Contact further back. That's one of the New Homes digital car there is just getting in. I think that was Jamie Fluke made contact with, I'm not sure, I think it was Smolensky. Yes, it was indeed Smolensky. He's trying to work his way back to the back on the racing surface as well.
Svidovic has a little bit of damage as well. He looked like he was slowed up at least by that incident. Alfala with some great driving, and actually Hunt's got ahead of Job now into second place. So GT Omega Racing holding that position ahead of Hunt, Hunt ahead of Job, ahead of Katz, ahead of Chepelevsky. Then it's Svidovic, Fluke, Smolensky. Oh, Smolensky's off as well. He's at the very back of the field with a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looked like
he's going to struggle to make it back to the pits even with it handling the way it is.
Fortunately, we've got a few cars again. We've seen this with the larger grids that just the paints aren't showing, so apologies for that, guys.
Alex, what does Ray Alfala have to do here to break away on this track where the slipstreaming is paramount?
I'm not sure he is going to break away as they're almost 3 wide through Canada corner again. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing right now. He's held on to the lead for a couple of laps from the outside. He's going to have to go again.
Job's thinking about the middle. That's not the wisest idea, I don't think. Think of the championship step as Hunt now tries to go around the outside of the Young Apex Racing TV driver, and they bang panels again down the main straight, up and over the hill, this massive crest that defines the Road America circuit.
Look who's coming, Leo Bodnar car.
Hunt's going to get a little push from. Alfala's getting a little push from Hunt, and Katz is here, the reigning champion, season 3 and 8 champion.
Down the inside, then into turn 1. Hunt, can they get that outside line working? He has. He runs a little bit wide though through turn 1. They're still going to be side by side. Can Sebastian Joe poke his nose through the middle? Thinks better of it. Down the inside into turn 2.
The outside.
And he's got Alfala still alongside. Is he clear? Yes.
Alfala chopped the nose off Job there, Alex. It was close.
Yeah, he needed to. Otherwise, Seb was going to get the draft and just pull up alongside there. Although Seb's still got a bit of a run. Alfala having a look round the outside as well. Job has to duck back to the inside.
Alfala's car twitching away as he struggles to contain the Kia Optima under braking. Katz now past Chepelevsky to 4th place.
Ray Alfala still not giving up though. Round the outside of Daniel Hunt, just not able to get through. Interesting to see if Daniel Hunt can now pull away as we head through the right-hander. Alfala does not get a good run through there, and Sebastian Job is going to be right with him as they head down towards this 90-degree left-hander now.
Yeah, one of the trickiest corners on the course. It's so easy to spin off in a rear-wheel drive car. Not so much of a danger in these Kia Optimas. And Katz is through on Job into third place, and the German driver up onto the podium positions.
That old rivalry, we haven't seen Katz for a few weeks, but he's straight back in, and they happen to be right next to each other on the track again. Well, will happen, we will have to wait and see. There's been so much going on further back as well, we just haven't been able to take our eyes off the front, but everybody's pretty much nose to tail right now.
One can only hope, Adam, that the 2-week breaks pacified the scrap between Katz and Job somewhat, but I'm not going to exactly wager any money on it.
No,
let's look at that in the background. Sorry, that's the Pete Newman media cars, Ben Palmer. Sorry, that is Ben Palmer side by side with Dan Kraft, and then Field and Cunniff battling away.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if anything, it's intensified the battle. I think this break, eager for them to get back on the racetrack. Daniel Kraft doing a good job of holding on to Ben Palmer. He's got a Pete Newman media car behind him as well, who is Simon Field. So heading over the top of the hill, starting another lap. We've got 6 laps to go already, and we've got so much action to talk about. At the front of the pack, Hunt's extended his lead 6/10 of a second over Al Fowler. Andreas Katz in 3rd, Sebastian Joe 4th, Chepelewski 5th, Savidovic is in 6th, Thompson in 7th, Fluke in 8th, Baker 9th, Fag 9th, and Jamie Rushworth in 10th.
Rob Graham's off. Graham's off at the first corner. He's gone wide. He was trying to overtake Juha Kalami, but that didn't work for him. And now he's dropping well back. I wonder, I'm not exactly sure what the problem is there for Graham. He went off the track, he didn't hit anything, but now we've got Al Fowler and Katz side by side down towards this turn 3. The American keeps the inside line. Alex nicely defended by Al Fowler, good on the brakes, and Job's going to sneak through. Is he going to sneak through both of them?
Now Fowler just closes the door there. I thought for a moment he might just give him the room, but I think he's had enough experience in this series now to know that you need to be forceful and to get on with it a little bit. They're starting to let Dan Hunt slip away as well.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt building up his lead.
We wondered if anyone could break away, Adam.
Yeah, we were saying that a few laps ago. Daniel Hunt's gap now, what, 1 second over Ray Al Fowler. Let's have a look at their lap times. Hunt last time around 2:15.9 compared to Al Fowler's 2:16.6. So about half a second or so in it, and Al Fowler is starting to lose ground.
Goes a little bit wide there, Ray. I think he's still going to be okay. Didn't lose any sort of momentum. Anything going on a little bit further back, guys, that we need to just quickly pick up on? Richard Gore closing in on Pakalami there as well. And losing Lord on John. Yeah, losing Lord on John Roberts as well. Just ahead of them, they've got Andrew Brown as well. There's a lot of different battles going off. Matt Walker, Matt Bunn. To be fair, there's just battles absolutely everywhere. It's just wherever we look, there's something going off. Job on Al Fowler now.
Yeah, Van Loozenhout, one of the best drivers in iRacing as well. Going to compete in the Pro Series of road racing. Oh, goodness me. And that's where Ray Al Fowler's knowledge of the car, Alex, and knowledge of sort of spatial awareness comes into play from his NASCAR experience.
Yeah, doing a great job there. And
Katz on the inside. Sebastian Job. And these two have raced each other hard, and they've crossed the line many times, Adam.
Here we go, then they're going to go side by side as we head down the back straight. Job cuts across, Andreas Katz allowed him to pick up a slipstream, but look who's coming along on the left-hand side, Stelian Chepelewski, and Katz maybe caught unawares and maybe hung out to dry as they head down towards this, the hardest part of the racetrack, really, hard on the brakes, downhill. Very hard to get the car stopped.
Chepelewski, I think he outbraked himself, but he had to turn it to half an overtake as Job goes off the course slightly. Doesn't quite allow the Bulgarian driver to nip through.
Svidovic on Katz as well. Svidovic sneaks up the inside on that uphill left-hander. That's a tricky move, but they're all a little bit slow because of what Chepelewski had done there, and Svidovic just jumped and took that one. Thank you very much.
Incident count.
This is
incident counts at 11 incidents, and already we're getting cars near that limit. In 4th place, Stelian Chepelewski's got 9, and in 9th place, Rob Fagg's got 10. So those guys are on the bubble. One more incident, and they're disqualified.
And they've still got 5 laps left.
Now that's going to be difficult, very difficult indeed. They're going to have to drive a near impeccable race, and I don't think that's possible in these touring cars as they head down towards the King.
Alex, how difficult is it around Road America to stay incident free?
Very difficult when you're racing this close. Ben Palmer and Simon Field 1/10 going too wide through the kink. That is just crazy. Palmer's got the move done. He's on the inside going into Canada corner. Should be all right. That's Pete Newman behind. One of the liveries that's not showing. Actually, just popped in.
Yeah, and he's got Colin Cunniff behind him as well in that car as well. Friction Racing. Graham Carroll not racing here this race meeting either. Heading through the left-hander towards the final corner, and then once again we'll be heading down the front straight where all the slipstreaming will happen. Daniel Hunt 1.8 second lead now. This race seems to be coming to the GTM Mega driver as they head over the hill. Sebastian Job has got Stylian Shepelevsky for company as they head down the straight. He is in the slipstream of the Apex Racing TV car and looks like he could be making a move. He looks to the inside heading into turn 1.
Yeah, Shepelevsky. You mentioned that he's close to that incident limit. He doesn't want to be hitting Job, or he doesn't want to be even risking his car, and now Savinovic has to get on the brakes almost to try and avoid Job as he twitched coming out of turn 1, but through into turn 2 goes Savinovic. Former champion takes the position.
Never
Job
discount.
going backwards, Adam.
Yeah, never discount Wojciech Savinovic. Where was he starting in qualifying? He was like 8th, and now he's up into 4th position, only one spot away from a podium. So Wojciech Savinovic, ever the consistent driver.
Look who's at the back of this pack, Alex, as well. Never count out that chap.
No, Dave Baker, always there, been so consistent, hence why he's currently sat 2nd place in the championship. He would like to get a podium here, give him some extra bonus points for the start of the showdown.
Well, he'd like at least that one more place, Alex. To get into 6th.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, he's got to get 6th place, isn't he?
That's it. Lee Thompson in 8th, going pretty well. He's just behind Robert Fagg actually. Fagg not too concerned with the incident limit, actually making a move on Thompson, so that's good. Thompson's got damage though, so I wonder if he sustained that in possibly the Smolenski incident. We'll have to have a look at that maybe at the end of the race. But Rushworth is at 11th. He's struggled in qualifying, Adam, a lot more than he used to do really the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been interesting because Jamie Rushworth starts off the season as probably one of the main contenders for the championship, but yeah, 18th in practice, 14th in qualifying, 11th at the moment in the race. It's just not coming to him at the moment. Maybe he can use a reverse grid to try and get back up the order, otherwise he might start slipping further and further down the standings.
Because he's not especially doing badly, Alex, but it's not really the form of a title challenger, is it?
No, I mean, yeah, I think we always underestimate how competitive this grid is, though. That's the thing, isn't it? So,
well, we've got 17 cars covered by 8 seconds
exactly.
after 6 laps of Road America, so I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, most of the gap there really is just to do with the field spread. There's just a couple of little bits here and there, really. Just interestingly, actually, Rob Fagg really dropped back a little bit from Dave Baker, but all of a sudden, those guys are starting to be brought up a little bit closer to that front group as well. So I think we're almost going to have, say, 10 or 15 car pack. It looks like Lee Thompson's going to lose a place to Jamie Rushworth going into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like something might have gone off actually between that sort of 10th, 11th, 12th positions, because they've dropped a little bit of time. Dropped a couple of seconds off of the likes of Jeroen Kaiser and Simon Field and Ben Palmer. It's Palmer having a little look on Kaiser, and he's actually going to scare the Engine Direct car out of the way. So the 00 moves up into what I believe is 16th place.
Stylian Shepelevsky side by side with Ray Alfala as they head down the straight towards the left-hander, hard on the brakes. The GTM Mega car trying to go around the outside. Has he got it done? No, but Savinovic could be about to capitalise, and he has.
Yeah, he saw that one coming, didn't he? He knew exactly what was going to go on there, and Ray again really strong on the brakes. Just seems to have that car hooked up, and he can carry that inside line through there, no problem.
And Wojciech Savinovic, like you said, Adam, he's moved up from the 8th position on the grid. He's currently 3rd, and he's going to look for 2nd. I don't think he's going to get the win now. I think Hunt's too far away, but Polish driver will be definitely looking to get through, get 2nd place, strengthen his championship position. These podium credits, of course, Alfala, he's only done about a 3rd of the season so far, so he's not in title contention.
Savinovic has got right onto the back of the car already.
Sorry, just seeing Alfala's the rear end of that Kia just sliding around the Slip Angle Motorsports car, almost out of control, Adam, through the king.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be on a one-way ticket to the barrier there. Savinovic looking to the outside, round the outside.
Yes.
And he's got the move done. He's got enough grip there. He'll have the inside for the next left-hander.
He'll have the outside for the final corner, and Alfala knows that, and he sweeps round, and he's going to actually be able to take his normal line through the final corner. So good driving from Ray Alfala, as that's something that I'm sure many people have said.
Yeah, Job got Chepelevsky there as well, so good move from him as well. So everybody just checked up a little bit. But Baker maybe having a look on Katz as well. He wants that sixth place.
This is an old rivalry as well. Adam, this one won't go away.
Yeah.
Team racing, endurance racing, and now rivals, and of course in the BSRTC, Katz on the inside, Baker on the outside. Can Baker get a cut back? Maybe he's looking to set up his friend for turn 3, that uphill left-hander, which causes a lot of problems to the drivers, especially in this Kia Optima. But the Kia, it's good on the brakes, can make moves work down there, but now it's Alfala who's going to have to defend from this rampaging pack of cars as they head down towards that corner.
And Alfala already moves over to the inside line, just trying to disturb the slipstream there for the engine oils direct car. Wojciech Savidovic, Job looking down the inside, or maybe that's just him defending from Chepelevsky. Savidovic out of control, and they're all going to bunch up.
A little bit of a nudge from Job there, Adam, on Savidovic.
Yeah, Savidovic looks like he's been able to maintain it though, still in third position. Alfala runs a little bit wide through the left-hander, loses a bit of speed. Now through this right-hand kink and down towards the left-hander before we head into the carousel. We've got 1 lap to go when we get to the line.
Sorry guys, there's another little battle going off a bit further back that we thought we'd pay attention to. Ashley Blake Hood and Andrew Brown side by side through turn 5 and up the hill to the left, still side by side. I know there's a lot of Grip TV fans out there on iRacing Live right now. There you go guys, there's one of your chaps right there. Getting royally stuck in as well.
And you got
no slouch at all.
And you got our teammate Martin behind as well, as Blake Hood and Brown just banging panels again as they go towards the carousel. And then can Blake Hood for Simpson Racing, former race winner in this series, can he get back past the Grip TV car? Martin van Loozenhout there, who started 32nd as well. He is looking to get through. He's 26th at the moment.
They're looking down the inside of that Simpson car through the kink. Is he able to get a run on the car in front? He's using the slipstream off them. Could he get down the inside into Canada corner? He looks down the inside, not late enough on the brakes, and Ashley Baker just swoops across in front of him, slamming the door in his face. Good defensive driving there from Ashley Baker, but Martin van Loozenhout, it shows you just the quality of this series. He's having to work his way up in the battle for 25th.
Sorry guys, I've got to switch back to the front. We're on the last lap, and it's Job and Savidovic side by side. Tucked up behind Ray Alfala, they're going to go 2 wide through turn 1.
And Cheffy's going to get involved here as well, and he just nudges Sebastian Job, so Stelly and Chepelevsky getting involved in the battle.
Down the inside then into turn 2. Joe very good on the brakes as always, and Katz down the inside of Chepelevsky. That might have caught Chepelevsky unawares, it doesn't. The season 4 runners-up is not phased by Katz at all as they head down the straight on the final lap. Job in the slipstream of Savidovic though.
Yeah, Alfala's got quite a nice lead as they head down this back straight. In second place, he's going to probably keep that position. Then Job now to the outside. He's going to try to make that outside line work on Wojciech Savidovic, but Savidovic is a veteran, he's not going to get caught out by that, and he pushes the youngster wide, and that's going to allow Chepelevsky to come through, and Job wisely doesn't turn across the GT Omega driver. Dan Hunt leads second. Ray Alfala, 2-time world champion of oval racing, and showing here his skills in road racing.
Savidovic, Chepelevsky just got tapped
Katz
there.
has got a great run on Job. He's going to try and go around the outside of that tricky downhill left-hander, and contact between the GT Omega and Apex Racing car there.
Poor Chepelevsky.
Yep.
He got hit by Job with a corner before and then gets hit again, and now he's about to lose another position. Can Katz hang it out round the outside? That's going to be a very good move if he can.
Rob Fagg there as well. Adam, he said he was on 10 incidents, and he's trying to be ever so careful because he doesn't want to run into the back of Chepelevsky, pick up a 2 times and then be out of the race. Baker's in 7th, and then it's Rushworth. Rushworth's actually got up into, that's 9th position, isn't it?
Savidovic trying to go around the outside, Canada corner. Is he going to make that stick?
No.
Ray's defended this move countless times this race. He knows exactly where to put his car.
Yeah, Ray Alfala has done a great job, but it's going to be Daniel Hunt then who rounds the last corner. He heads up the hill, and Daniel Hunt is going to win round 67 of the championship and the 5th race of the season for him. Ray Alfala, 2nd place. That's his best. Well, that's his second best finish, of course. Sebastian Job in 3rd, and then Savidovic 4th, Chepelevsky 5th, Katz 6th, Baker in 7th, 9th for Sorry, Fag in 7th, ahead of Baker in 8th, Rushworth 9th, Thompson in 10th.
Great job by Ray
still
Alfalla.
going off.
Yeah, let's have a look at what's going on. Crafts has come across the line 11th.
Sears, Bunn and Janowski having
Poor
a fight as well. Yeah. Sorry, Matt Walker.
Poor Julian Janowski's got back of the grid penalties for every single race. So
Whitehead.
Blackwell and Whitehead, yeah.
Oh, Whitehead's disappeared, is he?
Tell me that's not some sort of disconnect. Is that a disqualification or something
Could
like
be.
that on the last lap? Oh, he'll be cursing. I wonder if there was any sort of contact all of a sudden just before that. Who knows?
Yeah, possibly. And but it's going to be 2 Laser Tools cars bringing up the rear. Alex Smolensky and Robert Graham. Both of them had incidents and ended up at the back. Graham still through the carousel when the leaders have long since gone through.
Jake Blackwell comes across the line 41st.
Yeah, Jake obviously involved in the Turn 1 incident, wasn't he? It was himself and Jay, right? Was it in the Leo Bodnar Motorsport car as well?
Yeah, he was. Oh, well, let's run down the final order then for this first round of the evening at Road America. Daniel Hunt takes the win by 5.4 seconds, a dominant performance for him. Ray Alfalla in 2nd, Wojciech Savidovic 3rd, Sebastian Job 4th, Andreas Katz, the reigning champion, in 5th, Stelian Chepelevsky 6th for GT Omega, Rob Fagg 7th for Team Carnage, then Dave Baker 8th, Jamie Rushworth 9th, Lee Thompson in 10th. Daniel Kraft finished 11th ahead of Jamie Fluke, Pete Newman in 13th, then Colin Cuniff, Simon Field, Ben Palmer, Jeroen Kaiser, Richard Gore, Braden Cohen, and rounding out the top 20, Juha Pekalami.
Great first race. And let's have a look at also at the cars that are eligible for the reverse grid for the second race of the evening. As always, 15 down to 26. Those are the cars that are eligible to be reversed on to pole position. Let's have a look at the cars then. Eligible 15th Simon Field, Ben Palmer in 16th, Jeroen Kaiser 17th, 18th Richard Gore, Braden Cohen in 19th, Juha Pekalami in 20th, 21st Robert Plumley, 22nd Dustin Hickman, 23rd Ashley Blake Hood, 24th Martin van Loosenholt, 25th Andrew Brown, and then John Robertson 26th.
Guess it's that time then for the Wheel of Fortune. We'll just wait for the final few stand-ins just to tick by on the screen.
Yeah, this is what we have been waiting for. Who's going to start on pole position? Well, Alex, that was, by the way, just while you're doing that, that was a wonderfully driven race all round, really.
Oh, brilliant race, actually. For everything from start to finish. I mean, only 2 drivers really had any kind of issues in the first lap. Couple of little dust-ups here and there throughout the race, but that's kind of what you expect in touring car, isn't it? So, but yeah, all round, absolutely great first race. Let's just hope the reverse grid just gives us our usual epicness when it comes to the second race. Right, here we go. Wheel of Fortune time. What do we reckon, gentlemen? Who's gonna get it this time?
I think we need a full reverse, don't you?
I predict a high count.
I think we do need a full reverse. Right, here we go. Like 23, 19, 21st, I think. Oh, is that going to go 26? Oh, it is 26. There you go, full reverse. It's not a rig. It's not fixed, I assure you. That was so close as well.
John Roberts goes on to pole position, Andrew Brown 2nd, Martin van Loosenholt 3rd, Ashley Blake Hood in 4th, and Dustin Hickman in 5th. And that is what you call a lottery grid for the second race, Andrew.
Yeah, it's also a big boost for John Roberts in his quest to win the AM Championship because, Alex, he's had a couple of bad races and he's needing these points versus Paul Smith, who finished all the way down in 36th.
Exactly that, you're right. When was it? I'm trying to remember what meeting it was. He basically hadn't had a DNF all season, then his season just really started to unfold on him, and yeah, he needs to bounce back really, and hopefully this reverse grid can just sort of stem that little sort of issues that he's had there and the points loss and things like that, and he can start to get good finish after good finish. And yeah, maybe this just might be what he needs. Get a good race here, build up his confidence again, and it's all about this stage of the season really. It's the run-in now, isn't it, to the end and the showdown.
Yeah, indeed. And are we interviewing drivers between races today?
We're not right on.
We've got a press conference room
Yeah, we
this
have. If
week.
anyone wants to jump in there, they can do. But we're not going to do it on this one. But we will maybe do it between the race 2 and 3, and certainly at the end. So yeah, anybody who wants to have an interview, jump into the interview room. It's just above the commentary channel and the Kia Club series there. So yeah, we obviously appreciate we don't always get to everybody who wants to have a chat. So if you want to have a chat, jump in there, and we'll pick you out of there, and we'll have a good natter. Right.
Okay, so Alex, have you got some news for us regarding some developments for the series, haven't you, with a new driver?
Yes, we have. We've been fortunate enough, actually, at Apex Racing to have a new driver sign up to the team. So Derek Palmer, BTCC driver, Derek has signed up, and he's been intrigued by what we're doing here, and said he wants to help and support the series as well. So I think next week we're going to have a little giveaway of some tickets. We've got to speak to Derek just to get everything confirmed and whatnot beforehand, but we'll do it for the viewers, not the racers. They're driving and competing for enough as it is. But yeah, for all you viewers out there, fancy a trip to Brands Hatch, we'll try and get everything confirmed. We'll come up with a little competition or something like that you can enter on the broadcast next week. But if you don't know anything about Derek, just jump on onto the BTCC website. You can find out all about him on there as well. He drives for I'm trying to think of the team name now. He's going to kill me.
Support our troops, isn't it?
Support the powers. Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
And
the Infinity. It's the Infinity team.
That's the one. So, but yeah, it's going to be. I just think how great it is that we've got a real BTCC driver interested. When the season's over and done with, he's going to come and have a little play with us as well. I said to him that the drivers will probably knock him around a little bit. So the one thing he said to me, it's like war out there in practice anyway in the real series. So it'll be nothing new for him. But
exactly. It's nothing he's not used to, is it? We've seen his pictures that he's posted on the from his own races. With that. So that's great news for the series, and with that we're going to call it a day for our broadcast, at least for race 1 of the night. But we'll be back. Don't go anywhere for races 2 and 3 of the evening here on iRacing Live. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Road America for the final race of the evening in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, presented by Engine Oil Direct. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson for the final race, and Alex, Road America has given us two brilliant races tonight. A bit of a crazy end to race 2, but all in all, it's been very exciting, very clean.
Yeah, we've had some great racing. Like you say, a bit crazy at the end of that second race, and a few incidents causing some good debating in the chat, shall we say, on Twitch and on the YouTube channels. So it's always good to see. But yeah, of course, we've got another reverse grid, 23 cars this time, not quite the full.
Yes.
Richard Gore gets pole position. He got lucky there, really. He was involved in that massive crash, got his car fixed, but worked his way up, so good driving from him. But now reverse pole, so he took the pain in that last race, and he gets rewarded with a pole position. So we know how quick Richard is. He's another AM driver, of course. We were talking about John Roberts in the last race needed to kickstart his second half of his season and score well, but obviously Richard Gore, after his holiday, dropped out of the showdown positions as well. So all important that he has a good race here. Needs a good whole host of points, and maybe he can get himself back in there. Talking about the showdown points, I just wanted to quickly see where it was that he stood in that right now, because might make a bit more sense. And after those, well, actually, I'll take it back. After that race anyway, he's moved himself in there, and with the amount of wins that he's got in the series and podiums, he's actually got the highest starting points as well. So
yes.
56 points on top of the usual default 10,000 that you start the showdown with. So he's looking good, but so another solid performance here. Might get another AM win. That's going to give him a few more points above Paul Smith, who's currently sat second in the pre-points for the showdown as well. So,
yeah, and the fastest man in practice so far, Jamie Fluke, 2:12.885, ahead of Stelian Chepelewski. So this could be quite interesting to see whether those guys are going to make their way through. Of course, starting near the near the middle of the field, those two guys. So Richard Gore on pole position, Mark Johnston alongside, and Matthew Bunn and Kip Stevens on row 2, Andrew Brown and Steve Burke on row 3, Matt Walker and Scott Malcolm just behind them, and then it's Stanimir Zuzov in 9th and Robert Plumley 10th. Robert Graham is 11th alongside Alexander Smolensky. Dave Baker is 13th with Dan Kraft in 14th, 15th for Sebastian Jobe, 16th Dustin Hickman. 17th, Lee Thompson, the former World Championship driver, ahead of Juha Pekalami. Braden Cohen, who finished 5th in the last race, is 19th. Ashley Blake Hood, his assailant from that race, starts just next to him on the grid, which should be quite interesting. Ben Palmer, 21st. Wojciech Savidovic, 22nd. Martin van Loosenhoorn, 23rd. Philip Johansson, 24th. And Jamie Fluke in 25th. We are not far away now.
no, just while we wait for all the drivers to get themselves ready, you want to know about this series, go to BritishSimRacers.com to go and check it out. All the information you need, you can sign up to the series from there, join the Facebook group as well, and get involved.
Revs are rising then. Red lights are on here at Road America. And for the final time tonight, the green light is on. It's a really good start by Johnston. It's not the best one from Gore. Bunn gets away well as well. Oh, there's a pile up at the back already. And that's Johansson out and Fluke out as well.
Yeah, we've missed that off camera. That must have been really far back actually. But for the rest of the field, they seem to have got through okay. I'm not seeing anything through turn
Looks
1
good.
like we've seen the last two races. Oh, sideways massively into what they class as turn 3. That would be those overcast conditions.
I think Smolensky's off the course as well.
There's a few drivers there. We just see them coming around the corner. They're all struggling with rear end grip. They're just sliding through that corner there. And we touched on it on the last race. They need those pressures to build up when the track is cold. This is what happens. And yes, cost Gore big time there.
Zuzov
Gore's around.
Zuzov into Gore.
Well, I think we cursed him well and truly. I think I was saying he needed a good race. He's already down in 21st.
There are a lot of marbles built up, Alex, as well at the side of the racetrack. After 2 races of all these 40-odd cars going around the circuit, you're seeing a lot of build-up on the offline. Lamy going for the inside line on Malcolm. and going through is Juha Pekalami, so he's had a brilliant start.
It's going to be on the outside now of the carousel. It's probably not a bad thing. Tyres probably coming up to some sort of pressure through here. Everybody looks okay. Sebastian Job just on the outside playing dare with the marbles there.
Yeah, you cannot go offline through corners such as the
Peaking
Kings
with media
now.
car in the background, just running a little bit wide as well. I'm not sure quite who that was.
You notice as well that some of the drivers, Alex, had a poor race one and just haven't recovered. The likes of Pete Newman and Jamie Fluke, Dan Hunt had a poor race too.
Big crash. I think that's Gore caught up in that as well. Track is absolutely blocked. Everybody's trying to filter their way. They're crashing some more
I think
again.
they'll be all right. I think everybody will make it through. Well, not everybody, but most people.
They're still crashing down there. That's a Grip TV car
Rob
as well.
Plumley.
Cohen there as well.
Rob
Lee
Plumley's in a
Thompson.
lot of trouble. Jake Blackall out. Thompson in the pits. Braden Cohen in the pits. Mike Johnston still leading. Matt Bunn's going to go for the lead. Matthew Bunn, the privateer from the Kia Club Series, the second division league, trying to go through, and Mark Johnston fighting well, the Leo Bond, the motorsports driver. Gets the lead back now. And they've got Kip Stevens, the two-time champion, behind them. In third place, Stevens desperately needs a good result for New Homes Digital, Alex. And barely speak.
He's obviously had his penalty at the first race as well, so he started back. Who's that? Just that's Andrew Brown having a look one way and the other next to Stephen Burke around the outside. Is he going to manage to do it? Burke just pushes him a little bit wide and gets the quarter panel straight into the wall. Burke will have got some serious damage on that.
Just seeing it. Hopefully, he doesn't bring it back onto the circuit for some of these other drivers. But
He's got some damage there. He needs to be very, very careful.
oh no! It's his team manager. He needs to keep it off the road. He's not going to make it back to the pits. At least he could have waited until they get through. So Steve Burke once again in the wars. Seems to happen a lot, really. Unfortunately for him. Here's some more contact somewhere. Kip Stevens in third, closing on Matt Bunn. Now Mark Johnston's got a bit of a lead. At 1 second, he'll be looking for his first win in the series. Andrew Brown in fourth place. Then it's Stanimir Zuzov in fifth. He's doing very well indeed. Robert Graham in sixth. Then Dan Kraft in seventh. Juha Pekalami in eighth. Ninth, Scott Malcolm. 10th, Matt Walker. He's not been that high up in the race for a long time, Alex, really, Matt Walker.
Stevens having a little look on Bunn. Yeah, you're right. We haven't seen much of Matt. Let's just go on board with him right now. And driving for Laser Tools.
I'll just keep an eye out on the battle between Stevens and Bunn. Now Brown's getting involved. Stevens didn't see him, and he turns into Andrew Brown. But Brown carries on now. He's got Zuzov for company. And Zuzov, oh my God!
That's what happens when you're three wide and you try and force it down the middle. Just, there's just no room there. Everybody has to wait.
Oh, Chepelevsky barely evades it. Goodness me.
That was, I have to say, Andrew, I think that's pretty rookie-like driving from those guys there.
Yeah.
They knew they were three wide. They were on one half of the track there. Just give your driver, give your competitor a little bit of room. Move to the right-hand side. Why try and force a position like that? You're the guy at the risk when they're at your rear. And, unfortunately, he took the other two drivers with him there because of just had it was 2 car widths to the right there.
Yeah, indeed. And the driving's usually really, really good in this series, and it's just the odd 1 or 2 incidents every single race you seem to get.
3 wide again. Oh, 2 Grip TV cars and Dan Kraft. Kraft having a look on the inside. He's not giving. Lami's in the middle, I think.
Lami's has to go off.
Oh! It was actually Brown that was, sorry. They all managed to survive that one somehow. Kraft up to third place. Mark Johnston now 2.4 seconds in front of Matt Bunn there as well. So what are we just having? Everybody's spreading apart a little bit actually. Got a great little train starting to form up though behind Ben Palmer in 7th place. Al Fowler, we missed him from the second race after his incident. He's worked his way up to 8th place, just ahead of Matt Walker and Richard Gore recovering. Richard Gore all the way down to 24th place at one point on the first lap and back up to 10th place. So
yeah, he's had a lot gone on in front of him though, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
See Ashley Blake Hood just behind Dustin Hickman as well.
Rushworth and Martin Van Loosenord as well into Canada corner.
Yeah, that's a good
Rushworth
battle.
Around the outside.
Rushworth
doesn't quite hold on to it.
Rushworth knows that he needs to finish some races and get some points for the championship, because it's not going to do him any good towards the showdown if he retires or has a low finish. Doesn't want to be messing that much with Van Loosenord, who's a privateer.
Pete Newman's got a rear view mirror full of the Apex Racing TV car of Sebastian Job, and but Pete's got a fair slipstream on Smith ahead of him. But I need to just quickly jump to the front as Dan Kraft just puts a move on the inside of Matt Bunn to take second place. We just missed it. We'll get a little replay as Brown has to check back in front of his teammate there to maintain the position.
Smith and Gore nearly hitting each other as well.
Here's
Smith
the
and
replay.
Job, in fact, Smith quarter paneling Job.
Here's a
Job
replay,
goes...
sorry Andrew, a replay up on screen right now. Matt Bunn just on the outside there, nothing he could really do. He turned in a little bit there actually, but just trying to defend, but Kraft has already got far enough alongside and managed to maintain the position.
Nick Sebb's struggling out there. Paul Smith's just overtaken him with a bit of force, I might add. But off goes Smolensky. He got hit by Newman, I think, and Smith is through. Is Job going to go around the outside of Smolensky as well? No, not quite. Laser Tools car, robust in defence, and Hunt's coming through as well on Job. Job's struggling out there.
Got a lot of damage on that car right now as well. Ashley Blake Hood, a lot of controversy around him from the second race there. He was getting very, very close.
Job's really struggling out there. He'll be looking to finish the race at this point because Hunt right behind him, and all it's going to take is a bit of a tap. Mark Johnston leads by 3.2 seconds, but now Daniel Kraft's in second place, and the chase is on, Alex, because Kraft's very, very quick in that Pete Newman media car.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on what the times are this lap. This will be the first clear lap for Kraft. He's pulled away 1.5 seconds from Andrew Brown in just one lap, so that gives you an idea of the pace that he's got out there.
Although Johnston was quicker than him on the previous lap, so Mark Johnston's not hanging around at all.
Rushworth and Martin just side by side, coming out of Canada corner through the kinked left. I think Martin's going to have the high ground here going into the final turn. And who's that? Andreas Katz just sticking his nose in there as well.
Yeah,
and that's Bill getting loose.
Yeah, the two-time champion Andreas Katz at the back of this group then. Some of the great racing we've seen in the BSRTC provided by Andreas Katz and Jamie Rushworth over the years, and also Simon Field, who's won double-digit races in his career in this championship. Stelian Chepelevsky and Ash Blake Hood side by side. Chepelevsky's got the advantage now as he cuts back inside the Simpson racing car into turn 2. Is he going to make it through? Nice and easy. Well, I thought it was nice and easy. Blake Hood's trying to go around the outside of him now, and he's got a nice run out of the corner, Alex.
And actually they're both pretty slow out of there, because here comes Martin and Jamie as well. They've both got great run. Will they dare risk going 3 wide? I don't think they will.
Kraft was 0.7 of a second quicker than Mark Johnston, and he was 1.2 quicker than Brown and Lamy then on that last lap. Matt Bunn's dropped down to 7th. He's been overtaken by Palmer and Alfala. So Alfala's up to 6th, Palmer 5th. Ben Palmer running really, really well. Really for the last, ever since he's come back into the series, Alex, it's been a great addition to STEM Sim Race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've welcomed him back without any questions there. Done a great job for them.
Yeah, Palmer's a proven contender in these races, and we've seen him up near the front in the last few weeks. Scott Malcolm is 8th, Matt Walker 9th. Richard Gore's actually recovered to P10, so very good. Again, just continuing his revival. Dustin Hickman, again showing that Deutsche Post car, the privateer entry, looking really, really good. He's not giving an inch. Van Loosenord, Rushworth, Katz, Field, Richardson. Katz and Field. Then it's a 5-second gap actually back to Steve Richardson.
Side by side, Palmer
in the kick,
and Lamy.
Richardson and Smith were going through the kick there, but yeah, Brown and Lamy.
Alfala as well, just having a little look. Maybe he wants a little piece of it. Let's jump on board with him.
Yeah, Ray Alfala, 2-time NASCAR Peak Anti-Freeze Series world champion of oval racing. And he's side by side with Palmer, and they're hitting each other nearly.
Yeah, and Hickman and Gore as well were going side by side. We just caught a little glimpse of that too.
Oh,
Ray's stick with this battle.
Ray's been hung out to dry a little bit by the slipstream. Two Grip TV cars very, very close to the wall, but they've got to come over to the left-hand side to take turn one. Oh, and out of control nearly was Lamy as he put just half a wheel on the grass there under braking, and that's the worst thing you can do in the Kia Optima because it just unsettles the car. And you can have big crashes. We've seen that this season. We've seen it here actually. I saw a couple of people did that at Canada Corner in season 7.
It's a great shot there of all those cars flowing through turn 3.
Johnston leading by 1.5 from Dan Kraft. Kraft closing in though by a second on that previous lap. Andrew Brown in third. Oh, and wide goes Palmer. Palmer on the marbles, and he's lost 2 positions. So Brown up into the podium positions ahead of Juha-Pekka Lamy. Then Ray Alfalla. It's a completely different front 10, isn't it, Alex? To what we normally have. Johnston, Kraft, Brown, Lamy, Alfalla, Palmer, Malcolm Bunn, Matt Walker and Richard Gore. Almost unrecognisable.
Yeah, maybe the power of the dynamic track surface round the outside. What a great move that was.
That's a tremendous pass from Alfalla. Nothing Lamy could do really. He did everything right.
Yeah, it was Brown actually that he got round the outside there.
But a great veteran like Alfalla is, well, he's not one to be messed with.
Czepelewski getting close to Hickman and Gore still side by side. They've been battling for the best part of half a lap. Martin van Loosenhoorn there just having a little look as well.
Hickman wide at the kink. So difficult to think and so difficult to really know where your car is in these races when there's so many cars around you.
Everybody just about gets through Canada Corner. They're almost 2 wide, perhaps 3 or 4 cars deep. Rushworth trying to pick up some places.
Yeah, Blake Hood round the outside of Rushworth, off into the grass he goes.
Pushing him wide, but Jamie quite fairly moved straight over to the right to give him the room that he needed there.
Yeah, Rushworth's under attack from Simon Field, who's managed to make up. Fields managed to get past Van Loosenhoorn and Katz on that very lap. Matt Bunn's under pressure from Scott Malcolm. Malcolm's been driving really well in recent weeks, and he's himself under pressure from Matt Walker.
Oh, it's tasty up front, as a bit further up as well, 9th and 10th. That's Walker and Gore. And Dan Craft's only 0.3 of a second behind looking at the live timing, so I'm going to have to jump to the lead battle in a moment, but that is just crazy there from about 5th place back to about 15th. Looks like we've just lost Martin van Loosenhoorn as well. Looks like possible disqualification, too many instant points, but back up front, Dan Craft just 0.2 of a second back now.
This is the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship on iRacing.com, on iRacing Live and on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. The fight for $10,000, and Mark Johnston now is coming under pressure from Dan Kraft. Kraft's going to go down the inside. Johnston's going to be forced wide, but is he going to push Kraft onto the marbles through the carousel?
It's definitely got the better line through here.
Look at that.
There's a little bit of contact between the two.
Kraft has to get out of that because otherwise he would have been right out there on the dirty stuff.
Yeah, he's not going to have a look through the kink, surely. Ray just getting a little out of shape on the exit.
Johnston all kinds of sideways there. And that's going to allow Kraft the room he needs, you think, to go up the inside into Canada Corner. The Pete Newman media driver is already alongside the Leo Bodner machine.
Heavy braking.
Yes!
To the Canada Corner, great move. He's definitely... that's a great move there. Just got his nose in front.
Through goes Dan Kraft, but it's been a great 7 laps for Mark Johnston, leading for the first time in the BSRTC. And then Ray Alfalla's managed to escape the battle for 4th.
We just jumped back on board with Czepelewski. He's got Scott Malcolm just ahead of him as well, so that was ridiculously close through there. This is a great battle.
Rushworth down past Hickman. These drivers are giving each other virtually no room at all, but it's very fair, very clean. It truly is such a difficult thing to do. There's all these Kia Optimas around you. You've got to really have your wits about you. Oh, and that's the problem.
I think
That was Blake Hood into Rushworth.
I think we
And
spoke
that's
too
taken
soon.
Hickman off. And
Yeah,
I'm just
poor
going to never
Hickman.
say anything else again.
We seem to have cursed everybody this race so far. The 3 wide going into turn 3 there, exiting onto the second of the straights.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who joined us on iRacing Live as well. You might as well just have at it for me on the chat there, because I'm just cursing myself if whatever I was saying after the last race. But there's all sorts going on now. Newman's hit Blake Hood, and Blake Hood's
Gore.
round, and Gore's round, and they're 4 wide going between turns 3 and 4.
And someone just
somehow,
got, Blake Hood just got himself disqualified. Oh, there's
the
still
Malcolm's off, Fields off. It's all getting a bit silly now, boys. Need to get this together now. There's points for the team's championship at stake, and for the drivers' championship. Fields on the grass. That was going to end badly. Gore's off, and this is ridiculous now.
Yeah, you don't go for a move on the grass. If you're on the grass, it's not on. I've said that before.
This is I'll be honest, bringing the series into disrepute. The bad driving here by some of these guys. Sort yourselves out, boys. It's not amateur hour around here. Palmer and now Lamy and Brown, they continue this battle that they've had all through the race. You might as well watch this one. At least these two aren't knocking each other off the track. As Pekka Lamy then, is he going to make a move on his teammate, or is it a gentleman's agreement, Alex? Is it going to be on the final lap? I'm not sure it is actually. He's trying to go on the inside.
Yeah, side by side. Some good battle between them. No team orders there, clearly.
No team orders at all. I must admit, much as the fans on YouTube are going to probably like me saying this, it's the Grip TV have been a credit to themselves, a credit to the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been great, actually. Get them in again. I hope they come back. Obviously, not every
full
venue.
time, boys.
Yeah, not every venue's got enough grid slots, but where they have, let's see them in there. They've done a great job out there today.
Yeah, hand on heart, an excellent debut from Grip TV, and I'll tell you what, they've got their fans, and they have a reason for it, because very, very good driver. But Mark Johnston has not given up on this win, of getting his first win in the series, and Dan Kraft now is going to have to defend. He's going to have to defend from Johnston. Is Johnston going to think about having a look into turn 3? Well, it's going to be very difficult. His only hope, really, Alex, is to follow Kraft closely through the carousel and hope he can get a run through the kink.
That's it. I think that's the best place. As you can see, those guys fighting in the background still as well. Chaz Draycott and Jay Wright are pretty close, looking at the live timing, but we'll stay.
Oh my God! Over goes Draycott, and he's out. That's a disqualification.
We won't bother going back.
I don't care anymore. Alfala in 3rd place. He's made a great race of it as well. 2 podiums for Ray Alfala. It's going to look like Alex, as Kraft is leading Johnston through the carousel. Johnston's not close enough at all to get a run, and it's going to be Dan Kraft's win surely, unless he makes a mess of the last corner or 2. Through the kink he goes, no problems there. Now it's just the tricky braking area of Canada Corner.
Yeah, he's just not close enough to get any kind of run. He needs to nail this apex, and maybe he'll get an opportunity to draft him. He's just too far back, I think, Johnston. This is Kraft's race to lose. Just doesn't need to make a mistake in the final 2 corners. And he's got it.
So Daniel Kraft then. It's going to take a really important win for his team, because it's not been a good meeting for them at all. But somehow through all of it, Daniel Kraft's going to come through from 14th on the grid, and he's going to take the final race here at Road America. Mark Johnston, a brilliant second. Ray Alfala, second podium of the night for him. Ben Palmer in 4th. 5th for Pekka Lamy, ahead of his teammate Andrew Brown. Brilliant from there. Matt Bunn. And a fantastic race from Matt Bunn, I must be honest, but actually he's lost positions, hasn't he, on the last lap? He's down behind Chapelevsky and Rushworth. And Malcolm Walker.
He was involved in all of that. Yeah.
He's lost 6 or 7 spots on the final lap, as Bunn down to 12th. Smolensky 13th. Draycott was disqualified. Cunniff 44th to 15th for Colin Cunniff. Excellent from him. Dan Blake 16th. We haven't mentioned Dan Blake all meeting. Steve Richardson 17th. Andrew Whitehead 18th from the very back of the grid. Jeroen Kaiser 19th. We spoke to him earlier on. He'll be happy with that. Paul Smith 20th.
A little battle going on out there actually right now. Lee Thompson and Kip Stevens as well, going into Canada corner. These guys actually pretty close in the championship for the top 10 spots, so this this place is quite important for both drivers, so they'll both be trying everything they can on this final corner. Kip to hold on to it, Lee to get the run. A good exit from Lee. I'm not sure he's going to get enough of a draft. Get alongside. It's going to be pretty close, I have to say. I think it's going to be Kip though, just. Oh, I don't know. Who's got that one? I think it was Kip.
Yeah, I think it was just about. Just about Kip Stevens on the line. So I must admit, Alex, I'm pretty hacked off with that race, with the second half of it.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going on there with the drivers. Yeah, they just absolutely lost their head. There was craziness going on, 3 wide moves on the grass and all sorts of stuff. It's just, it's not what we've come to expect of the last sort of 10 or 12 weeks worth of racing. It's just been getting better and better and better, and we keep talking about standards improving, but yeah, this week it just looked like a destruction derby out that last race. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I think I have to address it because so I'll provide some context for everybody on the chat here. We've watched this series for 4 seasons. We've covered over 150 races, 200 races of this series. This is a very, very clean series. The driving standards are excellent. The stewards are very strict. Generally, this series is very, very, very good. And we saw that in race 1. 48 cars, think about it, 48 cars started this race. 47 finished. You do not see that anywhere. That was brilliant, clean, fair driving. And anybody who says that was not the case is a liar and wasn't watching that race. However, I will say that last race, some of the driving was a disgrace. And actually, I don't blame anybody on the chat who decides to say things about money and say things, because that's what it looks like. And our drivers have to take responsibility for that and say that, because we know the drivers in question, we know that this series, these drivers are not motivated by money. Because they've raced in this series for 8 seasons before this, Alex, without any money. But when they drive like that, I don't blame people for thinking that that's what the problem is.
Yeah,
These guys are not motivated by money, I will tell you that.
It was it's crazy tonight. It's just not what we're used to seeing. I think I don't know if there was something has changed with the build or the way, I don't know, but they just they seem desperate to make moves. It's like, if they got half a sniff, they just had to go for it, and there was no patience out there tonight. So I don't know if something's changed or something like that, but it's just crazy. I mean, this season's been fantastic. Like you say, the first race tonight was absolutely epic. I was really looking forward to the rest of it. It's a shame to see some of that. So many drivers disqualified in that last race. It's nuts. I'm not going to bring up the disqualifications, but it's pretty extreme. Some drivers getting disqualified for some things that they've not even just basically just getting bumped around left, right, and centre, and and others. And others, just doing a lot of the bumping. So, I won't. Let's not dwell on it too much because next week could be completely the opposite. We could have 3 fantastic races like we've done in the past. So, we'll give the guys a bit of a hard time there, and they fully deserve that because that was rubbish. I'm going to look forward to next week, I think.
I'm sorry to rant, but this has to be said for everyone: is that we know these people in question. And we know that the fact that this does not change in any way that these people are driving. And I'm sorry to disagree with the people on the chat who are saying this, but this is the case where we do know this. They're not speculating. This is a known fact. And but this needs to be said, because there's people watching this series who needs to be who needs to know that this series is a great series, and this is why I say all this stuff, and this is why I'm so passionate, and everybody can laugh at me all they want and everything, but we love this series, I love this series, and, this is why this should be the next level. This should be the one that everybody wants to aspire to. This is a fantastic field of drivers, pro drivers, guys who've never even gone for pro, guys, people who are just touring car races on their own, and this is a brilliant series. It really is. And
I don't think we need to defend it anymore. If I'm
I won't
if
say
I'm
anything
honest,
else, mate.
You just got to go back and watch the previous 5 or 6 races over on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel, and you can see some great races there. Yeah, there's it's touring car after all, which is why they are so close. And obviously these things do happen, but yeah, I mean,
it's a tricky car to drive.
This season specifically has stepped it up quite a lot, and we do see some epic races out there, and it really has got a lot better. But yeah, tonight was just a dip back to the dark days, and yeah, we'll leave that there. What is interesting, next week's track, I'll say Silverstone National. Now, just think of the races we've had there in the past as well. We've had some great meetings there, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Let's put Road America to bed and start thinking about Silverstone.
Because race 1 was so good, Alex. I think that's what we need to look at. Race 1 was just brilliant, and I think that's how it is. But it's there were some great performances tonight. I mean, I don't want to dwell on the bad things because it was a terrific. There was some great racing out there, and yeah, we just you just want it to be good. That's all it is. I just don't want to. But it is a hard car to drive. I've driven the car myself, racing this series myself, and you do get into silly things just because of how the car is. But there are things that can be avoided, I think, Alex, and but maybe partly the marbles. Again, this isn't an excuse, but more guys making overtaking moves. It's harder to control the car, isn't it, offline?
Yeah, well, I mean, I personally haven't drove the Kia, especially when the track is as marbled in as it is. I mean, you can see it on screen right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of people saying, "Oh, yeah, it's not that bad." I mean, I haven't drove it. I wouldn't know. I'm just, if they act like they should do and like they have done on the IndyCar on the ovals and things like that, where I have drove up into the marbles, you're in the wall pretty quickly if you're not careful. So, it definitely has some impact. Like I say, I don't know, but yeah. Who do we want to interview first? We've got a few drivers down there. We've got Wojciech. We haven't spoke to Wojciech for a little while. Andrew Whitehead, we haven't spoke to. Just get Whitehead in, and then we'll have a little word with Wojciech as well. Ray's down there as well. He'll always come and have a chat. Mr. Whitehead, welcome to the very angry Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live commentary channel. Oh, what a crazy last race. You finished intact, which is the first thing. Just tell us about your race, really. How was it for you?
It was marvellous.
Hey!
I started right at the back of the grid. I only just finished race 1, kind of crawled across the line, and then spent the whole of race 2 plugging stuff in and waiting for the right lights to start flashing. Just got everything sorted in time for race 3, so yeah, right at the back of the grid. I made one legitimate passing move on the circuit, and the rest of it was just driving past people as they buried cars in walls.
Yeah.
So back of the grid to 18th.
You've just completely discredited your performance then, haven't you?
Well, but hey, back of the grid to 18th. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, you'll take that any day, every day.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
And I think we had our first 4 cars were basically in the top 21. So we got 4 cars over the line, which was good, and 4 cars relatively high up in a field of carnage was fantastic, really.
Yeah, I think your team had a better meeting than most, really, and few teams struggling out there because I think. I mean, do you think in the last race that the marbles made much of a difference to people? Because obviously it's the first meeting with the rubbered in tracks. Did that cause any of the trouble that we saw?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's made a vast difference to the racing and the way we have to behave on circuit. I don't know about anybody else, but there are certain settings that you can have to enhance what you see. I could actually see on the track where all the marbles were, but I guess if anybody's using lower settings, they might not have as good an indication. But yeah, anybody who was trying to drive offline or brake offline, the car feels like it's on ice all of a sudden, and I guess that must have caught lots of people out.
Yeah, and I think we just saw it was just one of those. It was one of those crazy races, wasn't it? But we just need to have that. What do you think? I mean, do you think the series is? Do you think the drivers need to take a little bit more care, or do you just think there were some freak incidents out there?
Oh dear me, that's a terrible question to ask.
On the spot.
It's tricky. I mean, this latest build is vastly different. The marbles do make a big difference, and the dynamic surface is quite different as well. So, people perhaps could take a little bit more time bedding themselves in, but I mean, it's always the same. You've got some people there who are kind of steady eddies, some people who are overcautious, and some people who are just absolute lunatics, and it makes for brilliant racing. And it's nice to have that mix. You kind of get to know who the steadies are and who the loonies are, who you can race side by side with, and who you just need to let go. And it does make for fantastic racing in real reality. You need that balance, I think, and that mix.
There's some love for your accent on the chat as well.
You think?
Quite a few people liking your voice, but there you go.
Smooth, eh?
That's it. Looking to Silverstone, I mean, what do you feel about that circuit?
I will. I'd love to be there, but I'm afraid my wife's booked a holiday in the Canaries, so I shall be. I shall be missing it. I'll be watching from afar.
I think that's probably a good excuse, Alex. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we'll let that one.
I think we should book a holiday somewhere, because after that.
Well, I'm looking forward to spending a week where I don't have to do race one on the naughty step and can actually take part in qualifying. It's been a bit of a nightmare just lately. I've made a few mistakes of my own and been punished. So
what a few times the stewards have thrown you to the back, unfortunately. But yeah, you're hopefully in. Which race is it after Silverstone, Adam? Alex, did you say? What did Adam say?
After Silverstone, we've got Suzuka.
Suzuka.
1st of October. You'll be back for that one?
No, I was really looking forward to that one as well.
So you'll be back for Brands. Yeah, so you'll be back for Brands Hatch then.
Yeah.
I believe is that the first showdown round as well, possibly. No, we've got a couple left.
No. There's a few more. We've got Brands Hatch, Mount Panorama, Kota, and Donington, and then we hit the showdown. And the showdown is Okayama, Interlagos, Mosport, Sebring, and Daytona Road.
And they're all Brands is going to be interesting because it's a little bit like Road America in that it's got the fast bits and it's got the tight bits, but it's very narrow, so it doesn't give you a lot of room to maneuver beyond those marbles. When we get to Kota, it'll be the marbles will be few and far between because there are so many different lines you can drive around such a wide track. Whereas Brands, there is only one line. You go off it, you're going to be sliding on marbles. So that'll be interesting for sure.
Just a quick one. We definitely noticed the difference in the racing in race one, where the track was quite green, so people could generally run slightly offline without a problem, and then it changed dramatically, didn't it, later?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic the way they've put that together and the way that the surface changes and those marbles build. It makes for completely different qualifying as well. And you sort of add into that the temperatures. It certainly means that nobody can just practice and then run away with it on the night. Everybody's kind of starting from scratch when you get into the session. So it really does make a massive difference. And I think it showed in maybe the top 8 in qualifying were names that aren't always in the top 8. Made a big difference, I think.
Yep, I agree.
Right, well, 6th Century.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
We will, go enjoy your holiday. That's all I can say. I'm very jealous, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, see you soon. Take care.
Just worth giving a shout. Anyone who is a driver that's watching this broadcast or anything right now, there's an interview channel a bit further down. If you didn't catch it earlier on, head your way down there. If you want to have a chat with us, we'll drag you in, rather than just plucking you out of the channel unknowingly.
And also if anybody wants to join the league, if anybody is a driver on the iRacing Live chat or indeed on YouTube, they're waiting to and they're wanting to get involved with the action and the madness, then just get hold of Kip and see Kip Stevens and see if he'll allow you to race.
Yeah, come and show the drivers how it should be done.
That's it. That's it. What we got to always try.
Well, we've got one more. Yeah, we've got one more driver who wants to have a quick little interview. Ray Fowler down there. So let's bring Ray down.
Ray, welcome to the commentary box yet again. It's becoming a bit of a habit of speaking to you post-race.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Very, very good. 2 podiums for you. You must be really happy with that, I think.
Yeah. Kind of getting used to the craziness of these races. I had 2 really good races and 1 disaster.
Now, just a question, because I saw what happened in the second race to you. Do you think that if you hadn't crashed in the second race, that it would have been a better meeting overall for you, or do you think that was your second place in the last race was as a result of your third place in the last race was a result of the poor the poor finish in race 2?
It's hard to say. I mean, people crashed in front of me, and where I would have probably been running there if I would have finished better. So you can never tell. I mean, obviously you want to finish well in every race, but man, I just wanted a couple more laps there in the final race. I wanted the leaders to start battling. Maybe I could have gotten up there, but it feels cool. Get a couple podiums for the Wendell Scott Foundation, so that's cool.
Good qualifier for yourself as well in the first race. You must be delighted to know that you're getting it together on the 1 lap pace as well.
Yeah, I'm mostly I'm getting qualifying down pretty good. Thanks a lot to Stallion and Kipper for the setup help. I was struggling in the first race with the front grip. The tires were just melting off, it seemed, and I was holding up the entire pack as the leader pulled away. And then in the more overcast, cloudy conditions, the front end had more grip and suited my driving style better. But that's something I need to work on as a driver, getting the throttle control with the front tires. I'm used to doing it with the rear tires, but the front tires is a little bit of a different challenge.
We were saying, does your NASCAR experience help you with with the closeness of the racing and judging where the other cars are? Does it give you an advantage?
I don't know if it gives me an advantage. I was pretty lost the first race I ran in this series with so many cars on the track, and now I'm getting a little bit more used to it. It's a little different from the ovals, just because there's more change of direction and heavy braking zones and whatnot. But I think I'm getting used to just what the car wants to do and how to race people in traffic. Kind of failed in the second race, but live and learn.
Because you're used to 40-odd cars, but not so much like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember back when I first started racing here, I was like 30-something on the grid, and I just had no idea how to even approach it. And then people started barrel rolling. So, now you see a car flipping, and it's like, just business as usual.
Oh dear.
Couple of questions, Ray. So, how does the dynamic track surface vary from what you've experienced so far on the oval to what you're experiencing today? On the roadside.
I'm not sure if it really affected the roadside much that I could tell. There were marbles a little bit off track, so if you got off the track, you're in for a slide. But I feel like the dynamic tracks mostly affects the oval side, being able to use multiple grooves and whatnot. But the roadside is usually still one groove track, so I don't think it affects the road as much as it does the ovals.
And I've just obviously read some reports, seen some other interviews as well, and it's sort of an important week for the team with what's going on. And you'll just give us a shout out from that and your sponsors, the Scott Foundation and everything?
Yeah, we have a couple races left in our season. We ran our first race this past Tuesday at Darlington with the dynamic tracks, and that was very interesting. We let the most laps, ended up finishing second, but thanks a lot to Slip Angle Motorsports, Lisa for all her support, and also Chris Overland and Brian Blackford were spotting for me today, which was pretty entertaining. So thanks a lot to everyone that puts these races together. This league is a lot of fun to race in, and I can't wait to run more.
I think we were talking last week about how much I love Darlington, and I'm glad you did a good result there, but because it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, Darlington is its own thing. The way the tires wore for us was incredible. We were falling off over 3 seconds in the whole run, and we haven't seen that in like 4 years, basically since the old tire models. So I'm a really big fan of how the oval cars drive. I haven't tested that many road cars. This is probably the first one, so this doesn't drive too differently for me. But the oval stuff is really awesome to drive, especially into a run because the tires wear so much.
Ray, did you also want to talk about obviously the GoFundMe.com for Trade Day as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, Wendell Scott's great-grandson was diagnosed with brainstem glioma, which attacks your brainstem, and essentially he got radiation treatment on it, which, I mean, it got rid of the cancer, but he's now bedridden and needs 24-hour care. So, unfortunately, his family is having to put up with the burden of the cost. So there's a GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com/Treyday, TREYDAY. And, if you would donate a few dollars or whatever you can to help his family out, it would be appreciated. It's a really big shame. I met Trey back in January at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Wendell Scott was being inducted, and he was there. And, awesome 11-year-old kid. And just a few months later, he has a headache, and all of a sudden he's in the hospital with cancer in his brainstem. It's just incredible.
Oh, that's a very, very good cause. So everybody check that out and see if you can help out in any possible way. Ray Alfalla, it's always a pleasure to have you in the commentary box, and hopefully we'll see you again next week for Suzuka Circuit.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. See ya.
Cheers, man. Yeah, not often we have a two-time world champion in the box, Alex, and good to get his opinions. He knows very well. He's been in the roadside world championship as well as the oval. Yeah,
absolutely. So good experience all around. Great guy as well. Just supporting good cause there as well. So it's always good to see.
Yeah, now we've got our race spot colleague Paul Smith in the box with us. Paul, hello, my friend. It was tough out there for you tonight, wasn't it?
It was eventful, that's for sure. It wasn't the ideal start to the first race. I thought I'd backed out of the incident, and everyone just seemed to anchor on, so I got a bit of damage and had to pit. Second race, that was going well, and then unfortunately, Jay Wright just got tyres onto the grass going into Canada, and went straight into the back of me out of control. So that put me down a few places when I was looking for a reverse grid. And then that final race, that was really eventful, of having to avoid two big incidents. Managed to go through it unscathed, and I think we just got me and Steve Richardson going through the carousel, just got a little bit of netcode by the looks of things, because I got a clear call, went to take my line, and he just caught me on the back end, and that was it. I was round. So somehow I've managed to finish joint top of the amateur runners for this week, so that's not bad to say that I had a back of grid and 10 grid penalty for the race too as well.
What do you think about Suzuka then next week? It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Is it Suzuka? I thought it was Silverstone.
Sorry, Silverstone next week, not Suzuka. Suzuka's the one after. Sorry about that.
It's alright. Silverstone, I'm not a fan of the track at all. Not the national circuit anyway. When we did the historic circuit earlier this season, I thought that was really good, but the national layout, there's not really many overtaking spots, so it's going to be tough, and I think we might
really
see
limited to Brooklands, aren't you? And that's about it.
Yeah, if you get them down the Wellington Straight going into Brooklyn, then that's about it really. But it's going to be a tough race. I think that's a case of, for me personally, just try to rack up points and get amateur podiums to help me for the amateur showdown at the end of the season.
Yep, and we wish you all the best with that, mate. So, well, thanks for joining us again, and good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully, we'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers, mate. Oh. Yeah, always good to speak to Paul Smith there. Alex, sum up this meeting for me tonight.
Absolutely amazing first race. Really good second race. Generally, a little bit of what we saw in race 3 crept in at the end of that one, and then just a lot of impatience in that third and final race, I think, and just let the meeting down a little bit. But yeah, the first race was great. I'm just glad that we actually got to cover Road America, because we missed it at the start of the season when it was there. So yeah, good that we jumped back. What surprised me the most was there was not an awful lot go off at the very, very start. We always expect to see a massive one at Road America with that many cars.
Really,
apart from
race 2, I suppose.
It was good.
Yeah, race 2 there was one, wasn't there? But not at the. It's usually turn 1 or turn 3, and it was neither.
I think as far as like the points and everything else like that go, everybody sort of ended up where we kind of expected them. I'm just waiting for your own perhaps to update. Let's have a quick look at if I can see what the latest results are. Is everything up there? Yeah, it is now. So top driver for the week was Dan Kraft. Dan did a great job. Svidovic second. So again, Mr. Consistent doing his thing out there. And Ben Palmer as well. He had a good meeting too. Finished third overall. Simpson Racing, great. What a great result that is from them. 899 points for the team. And then you got GT Omega and Laser Tools. So they've caught up quite a lot of points on Engine Oils Direct. So that's important for the team championships. And then, of course, Paul Smith, like he said, joint top with John Roberts. So not a bad meeting from John, really, even though he had that issue in race 2 right at the end. And Rob Graham up there in third place for the M on 178 points. So good meeting from Rob Graham too.
Think how good that would have been for John Roberts without the crash in race 2. And
that's why he was so far ahead at the start of the season. The consistency that he had, he just needs to get that back, and he'll do it. It helps if we don't curse him, mind you.
If he can qualify that today, if he can qualify a bit better, I think he'll be fine, because his race pace is usually pretty solid. So he just needs to, push himself that little bit extra in qualifying. I mean, Alex, I know you've had, at the start of your career in the Formula 1 car, I knew you had some problems with qualifying. What have you done to overcome that? Because now it doesn't seem like it's a problem at all.
Yeah, I think for myself personally, it's just a case of the more you do it, the less nervous you get in there, and you just hook it up. Although I can't. I think Spa was probably one of my better qualifyings where I actually say I actually had an okay lap rather than made some big mistakes. So I think that's the key thing, is when it comes down to doing a qualifying, you just need to not try too hard and just make sure you get a decent lap rather than one that's gonna lose half a second because you've just overcooked it trying too hard. So
yep.
Yeah, I don't think
agree.
I don't think I've completely cured it, mate. Trust me.
Well,
I wish I could bang better times in every time. I think, 2 or 3 tenths that I've missed out of that corner and this corner would have seen me in the top 5 in the grid and things like that week on, week out. So.
Well, there's always something to improve. That you know that there's always something to work towards. Thanks again, mate. It's always a pleasure to work with you and bring the BSR touring cars to life for everybody. Thanks a lot, everybody who's watching on iRacing Live. From the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate it. And we also appreciate everyone watching on YouTube, of course, on the Apex Racing TV channel. So from all of us here on BSR TV, Apex Racing TV, Motors TV, whatever you want to call it, it's goodbye from Road America, and we will see you next Thursday at Silverstone, the home of British Motorsport. We'll see you then.